Welcome to Before the Bat, a special Before the Bat episode of the Gotham Podcast, an all-male episode. Because with me, as always, is Tyler.
Hey.
And we have a special guest co-host, Zach.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Zach. My favorite line from the cartoon. Slightly modified.
Because we have a special guest co-host, because Kelly is somewhere in the wilds of Indiana with that force of nature known as Lilith Hellfire.
And we pray for her.
I pray for whoever those two Indiana.
Yes, believe me.
Wherever those two are.
Together, I know. First time in the same physical spot.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, no, I never hang out with anyone because no one ever comes to New England and anywhere in the Southgate meeting.
I hear you. But, Tyler, she did not send me the song.
Man, I was looking forward to it.
So, because
we're going to have to write our own song.
Well, maybe next week. Zach and the audience, I think it was during Monday, during the episode, Kelly was writing, the episode was Spirit of the Goat, and Kelly was writing, Don't Rock the Goat? Maybe Don't Rock the... She said she was going to record that song and sing it.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it.
Yes.
Actually, if you guys wanted, you could just use the song The Goat by Incubus Succubus.
No, we wanted Kelly to do it.
Yeah, that's not as fun. I just kept thinking of, every time I was watching the episode, I kept thinking of The Goat from the movie Waiting. And I just chuckled to myself.
Oh, God. No, I was thinking of the song The Goat by Incubus Succubus, a band who I interviewed, so that should be up soon once the interview segment is put up. Shameless plug.
Alright, before we jump into the episode, Zach, since this is the first time we've talked to you on the show, what's your thoughts on this season so far?
Well, I was actually one of the people Rob approached to do this show when it first came announced. And I said no, because when I first heard Commissioner Gordon TV show, I'm like, oh God, this is gonna stink. Because I was worried because Batman's raw. I was worried it was just gonna be Commissioner Gordon fighting Batman villains without Batman, which wouldn't have worked. But then when I heard like Donald Logue cast as Bullock, I'm like, okay. Sean Pertwee as Alfred, I'm like, all right. And when I'm watching it more, I'm like, okay, this is its own thing. This is its own universe. They have respect for the character, and they're not just doing. It's not just a bunch of guys waiting around going. It's not Smallville. We're not all sitting around waiting for Batman to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of guys going, so when's Batman getting here?
Well, I think that was the original plan. It wasn't supposed to be such an ensemble cast. I think it was supposed to be more of just Gordon and I don't know if maybe Bullock, but I don't think it was even supposed to be as many villains either.
Well, I think it's better. I mean, and that's why I didn't want to do the podcast in the first place. But after I've seen a few episodes, I'm wishing I said yes, because this is good.
Yeah, Zach, one thing I've brought up before is, like, originally, it was supposed to be very Gordon-centric, but I feel like the show is just morphed into an ensemble.
And that's why what's Batman... See, while Batman is, of course, the reason we enjoy The Dark Knight, he is probably the best ensemble of any comic book. The best rogues gallery, almost anyone will admit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, I don't know if you guys touched upon this, but this is the first ever live-action depiction of Harvey Bullock.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Yes, and yes, you can read all about that and a lot of other things when my blog goes up probably Monday about Harvey Bullock.
Nice.
And and Donald Logue, he's one of those guys that's crossed between DC and Marvel.
Yeah, but we don't want to talk about what he did for Marvel. I wouldn't be too proud of that. I mean, I would just kind of keep that on the DL.
Well, just because the movie was he was all right in Blade.
Okay, you're right. I had a brain fart and I forgot about Blade.
Okay.
I was just thinking of poor Ghost Rider.
Okay, yeah. And while that did stink, but that wasn't his fault.
Yes, he's a good actor. And he should come on this show.
Loved him in Sons of Anarchy. He was great in Sons of Anarchy.
I gotta say, though, the star of this show, in my opinion, is Penguin. They might as well call the show Penguin because he's the...
yeah, that's what they've been saying. I guess their whole plan is to like feature one of the rogues like each season, and I think as they said, this first season is the Penguin season.
There's actually a fan theory that he's the Joker.
Yeah,
we talked about that last.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, no.
because you know how my brother put it best, because my brother's a huge Batman fan. He goes, he's not the Joker because he's Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you read the theory though? Have you read the theory of what it is?
I haven't. Well, I haven't read it, but no. So
no.
It's, if you get a chance, we won't talk about it here. Just look it up and read what the whole breakdown is. The dude went into so much detail about the theory.
Yeah, I was worried they were gonna have Joker, because everyone said that comedian was the Joker.
Yeah, well, every week people are looking for Joker sightings. I think some websites and everyone are like, every week it's like, well, could that have been the Joker? Could that have been a Joker?
Well, they even said those girls dressed up. Are those Harley Quinn? It's like, no, because Harley Quinn would be like 12.
Yeah, no, we're like, the one episode, the Selena Kyle episode, I think, when they were, that older couple that was like kidnapping the kids, people were like, oh, could that have been the Joker and Harley? No, they were like middle-aged now.
I actually thought that, before they said Dollmaker, I thought that guy was going to be the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. See, I have, like you said about being middle-aged, the way they're doing things, the whole age idea could be anything right now.
It's a little tricky, but you know who they could have? They could have Hugh, because I'm thinking with all the crazy therapists, they could easily have Hugo Strange.
Been saying it.
Yeah.
Been saying it.
Well, I know they're bringing in Scarecrow.
So
that could be interesting if they get the right actor.
Yeah. So
I wonder if any of the villains they bring on will already, because not every Batman villain became a villain after Batman. A lot of them are already established. I wonder if they're gonna have anyone who's already, and like I said before, it's got to be the right villain, because it's got to be someone that the police could actually take down without Batman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't have Killer Croc.
Well,
you could if you have the original, because Killer Croc does not have super strength in the original. I mean, he's been mutated like 15 million times.
Well, I think he's more of a mutant. Like, he was like born that way, and he just.
Well, that's a real condition.
Yeah.
The original Killer Croc, there is a condition that turns your skin all scaly and stuff, and of course, well, I think my favorite character in this whole episode is the bum on the pier. Shooting? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did the shooting. Cool customer, yeah.
That the guy, yes.
The reliable bum that could have been like, what shooting was that? I don't remember. There's too many in this city.
I know. I was like, how can they arrest Gordon on that guy's word and no body?
Well, it's funny, because that's what I was thinking, because if the case everyone, the guy's like, that guy's your eyewitness.
You have one witness, a drunken homeless guy, and no dead body.
That's eating a steak that you just bought him.
Yeah, I say whatever you want.
So let me just say, I liked this episode.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
this is probably my favorite Gotham episode yet, because I felt and I say that because it finally got into some other characters other than the Penguin. It really let Harvey Bullock shine from the flashback to the Harvey now. It really let him be more of a character.
Oh, yeah.
And not as one-dimensional as I feel like he was getting.
Well, we didn't see much Penguin, and we just saw no Fish Mooney.
Yes. That's right. That's why I love this episode.
You don't like Fish? The only original the original character?
I think
I can't stand her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think me, Kelly, and Tyler think she's a little over the top. She's almost like
I like her. I've liked her at points, but sometimes it's like, what? I think it's because we like her, but every so often we look at the show and go, why is she doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one thing we have here, which I find interesting, is because that scene where he's like, we're talking about Harvey, right? Because when Dix calls him a do-gooder, and that's that weird scene where he goes, Harvey Bullock, and he whispers, Harvey Bullock.
The White Knight, yeah.
And I wonder if that's gonna, I can't wait to see where they go with that, because they're going somewhere with that.
Yeah, well, you still see, I guess he hides it more now, but Harvey Bullock's still a nice guy, because he's paying for his partners, to be in the home, and to get them the dirty magazines, I guess.
I wonder how many people saw the therapist here. How many people are probably saying this is Harley Quinn?
I know.
Oh, jeez.
Harley Quinn cannot be older than Batman.
I know. Plus, it wasn't even her name,
Plus, she goes crazy for the Joker. She's not crazy first. I don't know if you guys thought this. I thought, the way that, the killer put the pennies in their heads.
Yeah.
It just made me think of the giant penny that's always in the back.
I wonder if that's I wonder if the original penny was because if it was specifically that kind of penny.
I don't know. I wonder if we're gonna. We could see it because I don't. Was that like a Two-Face thing or something?
No, it wasn't Two-Face.
No.
I can't remember.
It's DC. It's been like 3 different. It's been so
That's
many.
true. I know. I think in the animated series it was Two-Face connected to the John Penny.
In Batman Brave and the Bold, it was the Joker.
Yeah, I forget who it was in the.
That was a great scene though. The Joker walks in, sees all the trophies from past crime, and he goes, "You do care."
They wrote it into the recent 0 year. It connected somehow with the Riddler.
Oh my god, I want to see. They should have Mark Hamill guest star in an episode.
Oh, that'd be
That
great.
would be awesome.
He'd do it too. You know he would.
Then everyone could say, "There's the Joker" in the episode.
Oh my god! And what they should do? Have him get killed. Like, oh my god! Tease everyone that he's gonna be the Joker, and then just have him get killed.
That's who should have been the comedian in the first episode, Mark Hamill.
Oh my gosh, that would have been sweet. Like, you're too old and washed up.
A lot of people are even saying this Chrissy Kringle is a Easter egg, and I don't see how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even the goat is a.
But
See, the goat reminded me. Did you ever read A Widening Gyre?
yes.
I did.
It reminded me of the guy, who technically ends up being spoilers, gets to be onomatopoeia, but in, the outfit he wears in that is what the goat reminded me of.
Well, I think it was literally just a guy who picked an animal as his symbol. It's like he says, like, well, I actually, oh my god, that was totally a hint. Bruce, I forget the word, ugler, I forget something that means, it's like a big dumb, it's usually big dumb or slow or herd animals. That's a hint, like the guy the goat was turned out to be a follower. When you think of what, and so I think I wonder if that was an intentional hint.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the guy didn't even pick the goat. That was the therapist.
You know what I mean?
The therapist, the rapist, put it in his head.
That makes me think of that SNL joke.
Yes.
I'll take the rapist. Now, one thing about that scene, when Alfred's like, you gotta be careful, he's coming after you, there's that great, can I just say, apparently 12-year-old Bruce is a jerk.
Oh yeah, because he's like, he can't take me from anyone.
Yeah, although one thing, and I hope they kind of address this in the show, I've always wondered about Batman, and that's the whole point of the show, is young Bruce Wayne. It's like, can Bruce fire Alfred? I've never been clear on that. Okay, he's his guardian, right?
Yeah.
So he's his...
Yeah.
See, it'd be an interesting dialogue exchange, at least. Like, you're fired, you can't fire me, blah, 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 like them two going back and forth.
Because I want to see that, because, it's a weird balance between, it's like there's this great Dorkly comic where he's like, oh, my childhood's tragic. It's like, you had $1 billion and a guardian you could fire. You had a great childhood, and the next panel is Batman goes nuts and beats Superman to death.
Yeah, I don't think he can fire him, because I think in not so many words, I think it's kind of like it was probably in Thomas Wayne's will that if something happened to both of them, Alfred would raise him. And
well, that's what I mean. Because technically he's still bossing him around.
Yeah, but plus he's 12 years old. He probably doesn't have access to that money. It's probably in a trust that he can't get to. That he's what.
That's what I mean. I'd really like to see that addressed.
Yeah.
I think you put it best, like that. It should be addressed like, I want you. It's like I'm your guardian, not your. I may let you have a little leeway, but I'm still in charge of you. You know what I mean?
I just hope it's not the stereotypical "you're not my father" type thing. Like, no. But I agree with what you're saying. I'd like to see. I would like to see more of the Alfred Bruce relationship and more of them in the series.
I mean, come on, Alfred's the son of the Doctor here, so.
No.
Of the third one.
But
oh yeah.
Tyler, you mentioned the Riddler a little bit ago. I think we.
We definitely got to talk about him in this episode.
I love that he got more than just a quick line cameo. I love the coffee mug with the question mark.
Well, and the thing about it is it's obvious they understand his character because he's not evil yet, but you can see the building blocks of his character because he thinks he knows better than some, and they really haven't addressed it yet, but they addressed it really good this episode when he changes her filing system, because that's who the Riddler is. He has to prove
he's the
smartest man.
Yeah, he's the smartest man in the room always.
My favorite Riddler story is actually from one of the older comics. I think it might even been the 70s one. The Riddler decides he's not going to leave riddles anymore. He's just going to commit his crimes and not leave because he's like, hey, how about I stop giving Batman clues to stop me? He's like, I'm just going to be a straight up criminal.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. That's like his
well,
mental...
that's the point. That's the point. suddenly riddles start popping up, and like the Riddler, like and it turns out the Riddler is so obsessed with riddles, he was subconsciously leaving riddles for Batman, and that's what I got here, because the difference is he's the Riddler right here. If you look at him, he's still the Riddler, but he's not malicious yet.
Yeah,
he's not the criminal yet.
Right.
Well, it's like I always loved that the Riddler's weakness is knowing the answer. Like in Hush, when Batman confronts him at the end, is the Riddler figured out who he is, but he won't tell anybody because then the joke's out.
Yeah, because is that what Batman said to him? He's like, you're not going to spill the beans on my identity, and Riddler's like, why? He's like, because when is a riddle not a riddle when everyone knows the answer?
I liked the girl Crooked, and I hope we see more of her because I like her. She's like, the riddles, the riddles. No, it's funny. A name like Kringle, I almost want her to see her dad is actually Calendar Man. Because Calendar Man would totally name his kid Kris Kringle.
I know, and Enigma's like, I like your parents. What?
That's something everyone wants to hear right off the bat. I like your parents.
I want you.
I know.
Pause to keep your job.
He was kind of creepy. He was like, is he gonna lean in and kiss her or like slap her?
Yes, it's lateral.
Yes, and speaking of creepy, was anyone else completely creeped out at that scene of the Penguin's mother giving him a bath?
Okay, now I'm sure you guys have already talked about it, but I love Carol Kane.
Oh, she's a great actress.
She is amazing, and I just love her as the Penguin. So she's perfect as it's like couple put.
I love that line.
Oh, she's great, but just the bath scene was creepy.
I love that line when he comes home and he's like, Mom, you always think I'm running away with some painted up trollop or something, and she's like,
I don't even date.
And then, I know, and she was like, oh, you were, how did she put it? She was like, you were tangled up in some woman's demon purse or something.
Something like that, yeah. Yes, that was, I mean, and she starts, and then he's playing with the water like a little kid would do.
I know. And then she's
hurt, but it was creepy.
I like how Penguin's he's almost an anti-hero when you look at him. He's like that close because of course he's killed a couple of innocents, but he's almost because he's messing up the Gotham underworld. But we don't know what he of course wants to be a boss. So obviously, I just can't. Yeah. I'm loving his character.
I really don't think he's an anti-hero. I just think that
I mean, it's like more like anti-hero aspect. Yeah,
he's self-serving.
He's the lonely little boy who wants everyone to be his friend.
Yes.
He wants all the mob guys to like him. He wants Jim Gordon to like him.
But I brought up before that I thought it'd be cool after last week's episode, where if Penguin and Gordon would work together, and the idea was they were working together to bring down the mob, but really Penguin's building his empire, while Gordon's taking down certain key mob bosses.
You mean like the crappy storyline from Moondog Saints 2?
Exactly.
But this way it would actually make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I love the scene. Well, you got Dan Hedaya. And I know it's a one-off character, but I want to see him again because I'm a huge fan of his. I like how we find out later he was completely right that there was someone else involved with the original killings.
Yeah.
See, I like that they did a flashback, so it means they established that they can do flashbacks.
Yes. And one thing I like I like here in this scene is because he's talking with Dix and he's trying to get the feel of it, and we learn this is where. He developed with the flashback is where it's the start of why Bullock isn't a do-gooder anymore.
Yeah,
because he said there's no heroes in Gotham.
Well, he tried to be a hero, and his partner ended up getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder why they chose a goat. I mean, I wonder if it was just a random choice.
I saw something on social media. It was something about the name Gotham City and that having to do with a goat thing and It was a whole thing. It was about the city and a city of fools and idiots and madmen and stuff like that.
Maybe just because it was a free character that no one else had ever touched.
Yeah. What's the one animal that no one's? Although I looked it up, apparently Damian Wayne fought someone called Goat Boy or something.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That.
I'm pretty sure that's one character we're not going to see on this show is Damian Wayne.
Damian Wayne? I really...
Seeing how Bruce is 12 or so and Damian's his biological son, yeah, I don't think...
Well, if you look at how Damian was created, you never frickin' know. What a stupid origin.
But yeah, that and that goat mask. I know that's probably supposed to be like goat horns on the top of the mask, but didn't it kind of look like the Batman mask a little bit?
Well, that was probably intentional.
Yeah, the one I saw that, like, that's what I thought. I'm like, is Bruce gonna see that and like that's gonna get stuck in the back of his head, maybe?
Probably.
Now, why are you saying that scene's uncomfortable? Are you saying you guys wouldn't enjoy a nice bath?
Not by my mom.
What?
If it was my wife, yeah.
I know, it's like, okay, why? And he seems so he's like such a little kid.
I know, he wants to be like the big crime boss of Gotham, but meanwhile he can't even bathe himself.
What's funny about that, because when they usually have the overbearing mother, it's usually a bad relationship, but he actually, of course she's a little weird, but he loves his mother.
Oh, Mom, but I wanted to go out and kill people today.
I wonder
before you do your chores.
Oh my god, imagine if that's imagine if, like, they kill her and that, like, sends him over the edge or something.
Yeah. Especially if it's
because of course he's killed people, but he's killed people when he believes he's had to.
Yeah.
Like when he wanted a tuna sandwich from a homeless fisherman, or just a fisherman.
Oh, I remember this old Penguin. It was in all the older comics, and Penguin, when he's becoming the Penguin, he kidnaps someone who bullied him all the time, and he ties him up and covers him in birdseed and glues his mouth shut.
Dang.
And like birds just peck him to death. It's like, yeah, don't mess with Penguin. Oh, or that great Batman animated series episode where he tries to go straight.
Oh yeah, until the girl's just using him as a joke.
Oh god, well that's what I mean. Like, imagine what he would become if. And apparently the medical examiners in Gotham are crap.
Why you say that?
Well, because one, they get time of death wrong, and two, they miss an incision on the victim's skull.
Yeah, but just from the size of their workload, it's probably, or they didn't get to the scalp yet. And why the penny? I mean, I know it was a plot device to show that there was a connection between the first and second killer.
Well, I figured it was a money thing, like penny for the, like, because rich, or look, maybe it was penny for your thoughts, because it was in her head.
Or yeah, maybe all that's left you in death is a penny, yeah. Maybe.
Ooh, yeah, that's what
like,
I mean.
If it was 2 pennies, it'd be an interesting, like, instead of on the eyes, they put the pennies in the head.
Keep your 2 cents to yourself.
Now, we are getting Harvey Dent in this show, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, we're getting Harvey Dent's been announced and Leslie Tompkins. And I'm telling you, I really don't think Lucius Fox is far behind.
Well, they gotta have Lucius.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, I don't know, Phil, if you were feeling it or not, but maybe the psychiatrist was working for the Court of Owls. Just saying.
Oh, I don't think they'll have the Court of Owls storyline in this, and I don't care what anyone says. I didn't like the Court of Owls storyline.
I'm thinking probably not the first season if they do it. I mean, I would like to see the Court of Owls, but I don't think it's going to be first season. I was thinking more along the lines like maybe the psychiatrist is maybe her teacher was Jonathan Crane.
See,
or Hugo Strange.
Or that's her student. It'd be cool if her student was Jonathan Crane.
Well, the thing is, guys, if you remember the end of this episode, even though she's in custody, there is absolutely no way to prove she did what she did. Not really.
Except she admitted it.
To Harvey, and that's not just saying. She could be like, "Oh, I never said that to him. He went. I don't know why he said that."
Well,
just saying something. And you can't. That's not enough for. I know it's Gotham, but still, that's not enough.
Well, yeah. I mean, you saw at the end his boss was chewing him out, especially for shooting her in the leg as she was running away.
Oh yeah, and know what's funny about that? When I did the rewatch for the podcast, when she gets shot, she falls to the floor, and there's someone at the door. So apparently, this servant, when they hear a major fight going on upstairs, doesn't go and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
So what do you think of the Penguin's triumphant return at the end?
Oh.
Like the perfectly timed, just like, there's no body.
I love his smile. It's like,
I love Gordon's like, I didn't shoot him. I know you didn't, partner.
No,
I really didn't shoot him.
The way he said it was like, of course you didn't, partner. It's like, again, I want to play poker with Flash and Harvey Bullock because they have the worst poker faces I've ever seen.
I know, and then they slap the cups on Bullock. He's like, "What?"
And then all of a sudden he shows up and he's like, "You son of a!"
I know, and then Bullock wants to take a shot at Gordon.
I cannot wait to see where they're gonna go with that next episode.
Well, I mean, they showed like Gordon. It looked like Gordon was like sitting at home with like a machine gun or a rifle.
And we got to see Barbara again.
Yep.
In the Watchtower.
Well, no, she was on the stairs of what was it, the courthouse or something. She
Oh
actually left the
yeah, she
apartment
was out.
this
She was
episode.
out of the apartment.
This is like the second time in the series she's left the apartment.
Worst drinking game ever. Barbara leave the apartment.
I know, and one thing I find funny, I like how Gar's like, I need you to tell me everything, and then one scene later it's like, oh, I'll tell you everything, Montoya. It's like, okay, so Gordon can't trust you then.
No, I don't know why he would trust her, but in a couple episodes past when we had Rob on, Zach, he said Barbara is better watched with the sound off.
Barbara's just on there for eye candy, is what he was saying. Like, she serves no purpose right now.
Yeah, they really haven't done anything.
No, that's what we said. Except for like maybe 2 times the whole season, she hasn't left the apartment. And half those times she's not even wearing pants.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because it's like every guy's dream girl. What's she doing now? Oh, she's in a robe, all wet, getting high. All right.
What? She's getting high?
Yeah.
Did they show that?
Yeah.
No, they reference it with her and Montoya.
Well, she was holding. Wasn't she holding?
I don't know. I just know that her and Montoya had a little.
A little. They were together like a year.
But they talked about. I mean, in their little conversation, they talked about something about drug use.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. Both this and Arrow have a character that was with a woman just one time, but they don't really address anything like about them being like 2 seconds of line. Oh, it's because it's a woman. It's like, no, it's nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely odd. So we had Selena Kyle returned.
Yep, and for some reason she's stealing from.
Yeah, and I saw on social media no one could figure out. Does anyone know what she stole off the desk?
It was like it
looked like a box.
Well, I'm actually looking at the scene right now.
Yeah, isn't it like a small metal box?
Yeah.
How messed up would it be if like she opened that box thinking there's like something valuable there and it's like I don't know like
the pearls?
Or no, like even like more messed up like if it's like the bullet fragments from his parents' bodies or something.
Well, I don't think it's that, but I bet it's something like completely only valuable to Bruce, and she decides she's got to take it back, and that's the start of their relationship.
Yeah.
It looks like just a simple metal box.
Yeah. I mean, how much it's pretty small too. How much could you stuff in there?
Was she gonna open it and go, where's the jewels?
Yeah, unless she thinks there's like a couple little diamonds in there or something.
I know, right?
But yeah, we didn't get.
No, wait, oh no, she's a cat. She goes after the shiny thing that looks pretty. She wants that.
Yeah, we didn't get much Bruce this episode, but I did like what I saw with the whole board with the whole.
Well, I didn't like what he said to
Yeah.
Alfred, and like I said, I hope they address that.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to show that he's becoming more Batman-ish, and his emotions are kind of shutting down. Plus, he's still, I mean, he's a young kid. He watched his parents get murdered right in front of him not too long ago.
That's probably.
He should be in therapy, but he's not going.
Well, that's probably what Leslie Tompkins is going to provide.
Yeah, that's what I think. They're bringing Leslie Tompkins to be the motherly influence. So when he does say something like that, it's like, Bruce, that is rude.
You know, it would be interesting if she tells him you have to figure out a way to honor your parent, or maybe leave it and that's when he starts leaving the roses in the alley.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it'd be cool if we got like a flash forward and we saw the roses because we got to give it some time.
I'm sure that you guys have been talked about that. I wonder if they're going to do any flash forwards.
We've talked about it because we like the idea of like.
Yeah.
Depending on how this season ends or whatever, like the next season starts a little bit farther.
There's been there was rumors in the beginning of this series, but I don't know if they're gonna do it. I haven't seen anything lately about it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. I'd have to see them to see. It doesn't. They could do it so good and so wrong.
Well, plus it depends how many seasons they're gonna get to, which I'm sure they're gonna get many. At least a couple. But I think the plan for the very last episode is for him, like Smallville, for him to put on the costume at the last episode.
Actually, that's been that was joked about on College Humor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like what if Gotham ends like Smallville? Because he gets handed like a little case and it's got glasses and a mustache to Gordon and takes off in flight.
Oh, that's the other thing we were saying is like, are we going to see the evolution of Gordon's like mustache? Each season. First season he's clean shaven. Second season
like Oliver Queen.
5 o'clock shadow.
See, I would rather it be like a season Gordon starts having gets in an accident or something. He starts having problems with his eyes, and he has to start wearing glasses that he can't have surgery on. Because we also don't know what time frame this is, so they might not have LASIK. So you start seeing Gordon wearing his glasses.
I think it's supposed to be like the animated series. It's like out of time.
Yeah, it's timeless. Yeah.
That's what we've decided.
Because you get cell phones.
Yeah, but like flip phones.
We have flip phones.
Yeah. So, what else about this episode? Anybody?
Well, I like how Harvey Bullock makes the class. I figured out the case, so I'm gonna go find out alone.
Oh, that was one of my favorite parts when he's telling the therapist, he's like, you hypnotized these guys, you made them kill, and she admitted it, and he was like, I'm right. He's like,
when you think about it, this is the first time we see Harvey being a real cop.
Exactly.
And it's not a big further in his career. It's just because he's still a cop, so he has to know the truth.
Yeah, but it's personal for him too.
That's what I mean. That's why he has to know the truth.
Yeah, it's all.
That's why it was such a great episode.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like we got so caught up in all the Maroni Falcone stuff. This one was a step out and did something different.
Yeah, we got a lot of Bullock, because like I said, there was a lot of people not in this episode. No Fish Mooney, no Maroni, no Falcone. Saw Selena Kyle for 2 seconds. The Penguin didn't really get much time. Although you don't need it with that ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, with his triumphant return and his awkward bath.
Oh, he should have pulled the same thing he pulled at Gordon's apartment. He walked in the police department and say, "Hello, friends."
That's how the next episode picks up. He's like, "Friends, remember me? Hey guys, hey, remember how I helped you figure out the Wayne murders was a setup? Hey guys."
I can't wait. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with him.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for Montoya and Alan they see Penguin walking and go, "Oh, come on, we had him."
They're like, "Wait, you didn't kill him?" Gordon's like, "No."
Or maybe like a Wizard of Oz thing. Montoya and Alan go, "Pay no attention to the penguin in the doorway."
I think Montoya just wants Gordon to be dirty so she can lock him up and try to get with his fiancée again.
I know.
Yes. I think that's for motive.
She's so pathetic. She is.
I really feel like we got a lot of characters and each character needs more development. Like I said, like this episode, I was so glad that they finally did more with Harvey than just kind of making that background one-liner guy.
Now, this is something, I guess you could call it a nitpick, but when they come to arrest Gordon, he shows him his badge. I almost want Gordon to go, "Yeah, I know you're a freaking cop."
Well, maybe they were just trying to do it by the book, and everything, the reading the rights and everything, so they don't get tossed out. Because I don't know about Alan, but Montoya really wants Gordon locked up.
Oh, you know what'd be great? If Alan doesn't know about Montoya's relationship with Barbara, and he finds out, and he's like, "Oh, that's why you've been pushing this so hard."
Yeah, conflict of interest.
And that makes him lose faith in her.
Yeah, well, she already told it. Barbara already told Gordon about her past with Montoya.
Well, yeah, but Alan's her partner.
Oh yeah.
And then Alan gets shot and dies and comes back as the spirit.
The Spectre.
Or the Spectre.
Not the spirit.
The spirit of vengeance. The Spectre.
Spirit of the Spectre. No, wasn't it? Wait, isn't there the other one? There's a spirit, and there's what's his name? The Phantom. No, that's
the Phantom Stranger.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah.
Yeah, you have the Phantom Stranger and then the Spectre.
Yeah, the Spectre.
Are the two celestial beings, I guess.
I saw a great comic where they did a what if Bruce's parents were never killed.
Huh. I saw it.
I think it was the Phantom Stranger that showed him it.
Oh yeah, I think
He actually marries Catwoman.
I think I might have saw that. It was one of the old Batmans, but yeah, there's also an Elseworlds where Bruce Wayne gets a Green Lantern ring.
Of course there is.
Once again, everyone, Batman sells. Whether it's books, movies, television, Batman sells.
Batman wins. That's what I always say, like, when I play Injustice. Like, I shouldn't say Batman wins when he wins. It should say Batman never loses. Even if he, loses.
Yeah, I think I saw you.
No, wait, even better, guys. You play Injustice or even Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, and it goes, like when you choose the hero, Batman, you've won.
But, did you see the preview for next week's episode?
I think I missed it, because I watched the rewatch.
Because
Zaz?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
And you know what's great? You know what? Liam Phil mentioned it. You know, Zaz is the same guy who played a villain on The Flash.
Yeah, the Mist. That guy's taking his DC career.
His resume is filled with creepy roles.
So you were the Mist, yep. And Zaz? Yep. Okay.
Although the one,
now you want to be
unless the
something
episode,
else.
yeah, unless the episode is different. On the preview, they showed Zaz with a gun. I'm like, no, Zaz is a knife man.
Well, and I don't, and he wasn't scarred up that much either.
Well, again, this is early on, so I mean,
there's been a clip where you see like Zaz roll up his sleeve, and he had cuts, scars on his.
And if I'm right, I believe obviously we've seen Batman villains, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time a villain is the central focus or central villain of the episode. You know what I mean?
Is Zaz the central focus?
Well, I'm guessing.
Well, I think it. Well, they showed in the preview. Fish Mooney was saying. I guess she was saying she wanted Penguin dead, and Falcone was saying, "Oh, you're gonna what? You want to start a war over the guy who holds your umbrella?" And was it Falcone who said it? Oh, I'll bring in Victor.
I think so.
Yeah. So I know I guess he gets brought in to kill Gordon. I guess, but I don't know if he's the central focus.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be nice to see a villain kind of, like you said, central, where they lead and it's not just kind of like, we're going to find who it is. Like, we know who it is. Every other episode's been more of like, who done it?
The scary dude did it.
The guy in the goat mask on Viper.
I feel like such a fool. I didn't realize till they said Venom that it was Venom. I'm like, oh my god, I need to turn in my key card.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
As soon as they pulled out the drug, I was like, is this going to be Venom or a precursor to Venom? Then they actually say it later. I was like, okay.
Well, what comes from a Viper, gentlemen? Venom.
Yeah. I was like, can we make any...
Did you just play a rim shot?
Yes.
Yeah. It's Phil's new thing.
Oh, yes. Some weeks we have a ton of bad jokes flying, so I figured we needed a rim shot.
I just, when they bring in the Viper, he's just there to vipe the windows. Thank you.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
Try the goat.
Usually.
Oh.
He's going to eat the goat? Excellent.
That was a
little Jurassic Park reference.
That was a bad joke. Oh wait, that's sheep. Never mind.
Now it's rim shot.
It's like.
All right.
It's like
so, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good episode. They must be getting better because the Viper episode was my favorite episode, and then like you were saying, this might have been my favorite episode. So, last 2 weeks they've been really hitting it out of the park.
Yeah, I feel like it's my thoughts is, like I said, this is my favorite episode just because it changes up pace. It really gets into Harvey, and I just want them to continue to write a solid show and bring it around.
And I enjoyed it. I mean, isn't my favorite even probably not, but I do like aspects of, like, I like what they did, even though the Pagan wasn't there much. And of course Bullock, what they did with him, the fact that he used to be a do-gooder cop too. I like every episode makes me want to watch the next one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was good with the whole Bullock thing, because it shows how the city can just like suck the spirit out of you and crush the goodness.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's like, do they want to make Bullock more like what Jim could be? Like,
yeah.
He's supposed to represent, like, oh, he was a great upstanding hero, wannabe cop, and then slowly he became this, and, like, is that Jim's fate, or can Jim fight against it?
Yeah, the cautionary tale.
So, I'm interested to see, because I feel like we talked about before, this show has become its own universe, and there's so many factors that can be manipulated from the comics. Age of the characters' complete origin, so they can do a lot. Some stuff might be good, some might not be so good. We'll just wait and see.
Yep.
Alright, is that it, gentlemen?
I believe so.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
Alright, well, I'll do the social media. Everyone, please get a hold of us. Let you know what you thought of this all-men episode of Before the Bat. Our email is beforethebat@gmail.com. Facebook, Before the Bat, the Gotham Podcast. Twitter, we're at Before the Bat Pod. Instagram is before the bat _Flash Arrow Pod, and Tumblr is before the bat /Flash Arrow Pod.
Same bat time, same bat podcast.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.